Hi, Scorpio. This is your homework family reading for June 1st through the 15th. There's a lot going on with you. Let me just start off with saying Spirit has given me, all Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for the sign of Scorpio, June 1st through the 15th. I'm typically starting out what Spirit's giving me that you need to understand right as you begin this energy. So right as you're coming into the 1st of June, Spirit is saying right off the bat, you're coming into definite energies that you are dealing with within the solar plexus, the heart chakra, and the throat chakra. So it's forgiveness, love, believing in yourself, manifestation, I can energy, so that you can create with that. But it also is going to deal with past lives, past situations. When I say past lives, it could be past lives, but I also say anything that is no longer part of the present, like right now in our life, then is part of our past. So that makes it a part of a past life situation. So solar plexus is coming into our will, our I can, our ability to believe, our ability to know and create, which brings technically manifestation. It is also the heart chakra, like I said, which is going to be dealing with some forgiveness and love issues. Unconditional love issues is what really feel like I'm being given for yourself more than for others. Or maybe just the world around you, but I do feel like it's a lot of forgiveness for self. And throat, the throat chakra, which is speaking to us of how we communicate in all ways, but also how you listen so that you actually communicate well. Sometimes the throat chakra is also about us being quiet long enough to actually receive the information from that communication. So you may want to be paying attention to anything that deals with communication also. Emails, text, media. Anything that's going to bring that communication in. Maybe even songs, maybe even dreams, maybe even poetry. Anything that it has, that communication in how we verbally put it and verbally express ourselves, because this is really coming down to what it's being about, expressing yourself properly. Spirit is giving me 2 spirit guides. I believe, one is a rabbit, and a rabbit can be dealing with fear, but it can also be dealing with abundance. You may want to Google it. If it's calling to you, there may be a reason why it's calling to you. Like I said, Spirit's giving me the rabbit. And then Spirit's also giving me, and I'm not as, I don't know too much about this one. They're giving me an anteater. I believe it has to do with solace and being okay and comfortable with self. But I mean, if it's calling to you for whatever reason, Spirit is already saying that it's for all Scorpios right now. So you may want to Google it and look it up. It may have some importance for you and may help you out in some direction, one form or another, in spirit guide medicine from the animals. Now, as we get into the astrology for Scorpio, I know that a lot of what's going on for you is in Scorpio, starting from a universal standpoint of Scorpio. It is your 2nd house, it is your 5th house, it is your 8th and 9th house. You have a lot going on in there at this time from the 1st through the 15th. And let me back up for just a second. You have a new moon taking place in Gemini on June 3rd. I'll look that up in a minute. You also have Mercury moving into Cancer on June 4th, which is your communication. You have Venus moving into Gemini on the 8th. So the new moon, then Mercury moves, then Venus moves. The very first week and a half, more or less, of June. Now, before I get into actually looking at the astrology, I'm reminding you that you will have a full moon on the 17th, which will be in Sagittarius. And a lot of the energies that are going on that a lot of people may not be understanding right now is whenever the planets that move the slowest go in retrograde, turn directions, or shift signs, they really start kicking out some energy of that shifting. Now, Neptune is going to go retrograde on the 21st. And it's in its home sign of Pisces. It's been there forever. But when it goes retrograde, that I think is, what is that? It's going to be in shadow. I mean, right now, it's technically already bringing up energies of Neptune's shadow energy. For you, that's your 5th house. And you got Lilith there. So, up until the 21st, understand your Neptune is in shadow. And it's picking apart some of those darker aspects because it's calculating what it's going to be working with while it's in retrograde for you. So I always say Neptune is our magic, how we create it in healthy waters or ill waters. And Neptune being in shadow, because it's about to go in retrograde, is technically looking at the ill waters more than the healthy waters. It's just the way that it is when it's in shadow. And the way I explain Neptune a lot is Neptune is where fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. So when you're going back and you're looking at the nostalgia and you're wanting to believe that this was, this was good. This memory was a great memory. Was it? I mean, were you happy then? Were you really? Or are you just trying to latch onto that to rebuild something, but what you're accidentally doing is rebuilding something unhealthy again? Neptune has a way of creating from the positive or the negative. It is not positive or negative. It has no care. It's going to create what you give it. Okay? So it is definitely nostalgia, but it's tricky that way. Like the video you're watching right now is like Neptune. I mean, by the time you're watching this video, I am off doing something else in my life. I am not really sitting here with you, but it feels like I am because you're sitting here having not this conversation, but the video. So, I mean, magic is created in many weird and strange ways, and it can be delusional, and it can shift in funky ways, and sifting through the waters of the truth of the magic is the key. And remember, it's going to be in shadow with Lilith in there until I think 2020. I think it's February, I think, of 2020. So, I mean, it's got a lot of energy, Lilith does, to clean up. And Lilith is very much a feminine, like, activist within us. Okay, she's very much your feminine activist. But Lilith in the 12th house is not in the most comfortable place. She is having to face her own darknesses. So it's our darkness facing our darkness. So it's whatever crap you didn't clean out over the last couple months. Now you got Lilith in there going, well, I want to be healthy. But I'm afraid if I make all these changes, I'm not going to be who I am. And I'm going to lose myself. And that causes problems with healing because then you start telling yourself things that aren't true so that you don't have to change it. If you're afraid of changing and you're afraid of losing yourself, you've already lost yourself. It's the trick of finding the truth behind why you lost yourself and recollecting the pieces that you've managed to spill all over the floor. So, I'm explaining that because that's your universal 5th house this month. That's where your pursuit of pleasure is. Your pursuit of pleasure is going through all of the dark waters of where your pursuit of pleasure has not been leading you right. Okay? Where your love interests have not been working out, where the hobbies, where you've been over full of drama, where your creative expression hasn't been working quite properly, where you haven't been able to express yourself right because of that. The 5th house is where we create and where our inner child lives. But it's also where, the relationships begin, where the curiosity begins, the playfulness begins, that also brings love. It's also where dating begins. It's also where sex begins. And like I said, you've got Neptune in retrograde there with Lilith over sifting through what it's in denial about within its denial. So that's going to definitely be some powerful energy this month. Now you've also got the new moon is going to be taking place in your 8th house. Okay? You rule the 8th house normally, don't you? I mean, on a universal standpoint. Yeah. So this is kind of built into your character. I mean, it's the relationships and the responsibilities within the relationships. Scorpios rule, I mean, not rule it, but it is on the universal level when we're starting with Aries. It is that 8th house. But for you, the 8th house is Gemini. So the responsibilities and what is responsible, what are the freaking rules within the responsibilities? What are the rules to the relationships? Okay, what are the joint efforts? What are the joint finances? What are the joint resources? How is that serving you or not? Where is it not right? Where has it got to be tweaked? Where is child support having issues? Child custody having issues? This is what is responsible to the relationship. Sorry, but children are responsible to the relationship. Money is responsible to the relationship. Sex is responsible to the relationship. If it's a job, then it's, appearing at work. It's responsible to the relationship. Making sure that you get paid for working is responsible to the relationship. Everything that you care about, you have a responsibility to. But in Gemini, this is looking at the Jekyll and Hyde side of it as well. So, and when I say Jekyll and Hyde, I don't mean it like soul and ego. I mean it more as humane. Where are you being? Where is the situation within the relationships just full on emotion? Because emotion isn't right or wrong. I mean, even anger isn't right or wrong. What you choose to do with it is what's right or wrong. An emotion is just an emotion. And love, which makes you feel all ooey gooey, soft and chewy, and yay, is one feeling. But when you're been angry and you've been betrayed and you've been lied to and you're furious, that's another passionate energy. There's no right or wrong. That's just an emotion. But on the other side of Gemini, you have the humane or unhumane personalities that's reacting to those emotions. So you're really looking at what are the freaking rules within these relationships, and is this humane and healthy to me because of what is going on with these emotions? Basically, that's what this is going to be coming down to. Now, you also have, that's going to be taking place, I said, where the new moon was, but it's going to be extra sensitive. The new moon isn't going to be so extra sensitive as it will be on the 8th, because Venus moves into that energy. But don't forget that the relationship and what they're responsible for, because that's your universal 8th house, is where we start new beginnings, where we're going to be working on the regeneration of the cycle of the relationship. So letting something die and bringing birth to something else, death, rebirth, and finding it in that form. But you also have the sun there, which is helping to illuminate you. Okay? That is helping to illuminate the situations of what needs to happen. Illuminate, shine a light on all things that need to shift and change and be seen. Help you illuminate yourself in that area as well, because that's where the sun is in that universal 8th house, even though you're ruling it, because what's going on is actually in that 9th house where your ruler sign is. But like I said, the illumination's coming in to that 8th house to help you understand what about these relationships are on a healthy level of humane and not humane because of what you're feeling emotionally and where it's getting out of control and where it's not. Okay? Now, Venus is going to move in there on the 8th, and it's going to come up behind the sun, bringing extra sensitivity to those relationships. But your 9th house has Mercury moving in. It has Mars, your ruler, and it also has the North Node in it. So there's something about that ninth house, which is your psychic energy, which is your philosophy, your religion. It is your learning, your higher learning. It is your ethics, your morals, your spiritual urges, your dreams, your visions, your higher mind, your wisdom. It's your books, your rituals, your journeys, your traveling, as far as spiritually, like astral traveling, shamanic journeying, dreaming. It has to do with all that psychic energies. This is of a higher dimension. And for you, that's Cancer. So you're really nesting in this energy, as well as it's your higher self. You're nesting in the higher self. You're learning how to understand what's not serving you about your belief system in this. And Mars and Mercury is going to be communicating to you what this is about and helping you to rise and ascend above where you were, because with North Node being in Cancer, even though it's your ninth house, it's definitely speaking to you about your psychic energy, about your spiritual self, about your higher self, and what isn't getting through. What isn't getting through, and how the warrior inside of you, your inner passion, your action, your aggression, your inner SWAT team, can work in a communicative way to be healthy, to help you move forward, because because Mercury is coming in right behind it. So it's definitely going to be illuminating the emotions that back up the soulfulness and the creation of where your higher self, your soulful self is trying to communicate what maybe isn't getting through to you. Because anytime it's near the North Node, this is talking about things that have to change, things that have to be learned how to get right in order for you to move forward. Because if you don't get it right while it's in Cancer, because for you, that's your universal ninth house, then you're going to have extra issues. And I mean, you're not going to evolve quite well, because this is something you have to learn. Cancer is not going to allow it to slide past and continue to do the same things you've always done. But it's in opposition with your universal third house, which is your communication with the outside world of everybody that's close to you. So it's fighting it with those rules, laws, and boundaries. So there may be people you need to cut cords with. There may be situations, places you need to cut cords with. And it's not just cutting cords. I mean, it's getting to the root of releasing it from that solar plexus, the solar plexus, the heart, and the throat chakra. This is all about how you're going to communicate in a healthy way of learning how to express your truth. Express your needs. Be unapologetic for what it is that you need. I'm sorry, I dropped the phone because I do everything off of my phone. But I feel like I'm very much being told for a lot of the whole rest of the year, it's time to be unapologetic for what it is I need. If I need it to make me healthy in life, without being on an addictive level like drugs and alcohol, but when we're on a soulful level of truthfully knowing what it is we need to help us, soulfully move forward in a positive way, I'm not going to say I'm sorry. I feel like that's really what we're being told. You shouldn't be saying you're sorry for being yourself and knowing what you need to be healthy. I feel like we're really being given that information as we move into 2020, from here right on out. Okay, what does Scorpio need to hear for right now in the beginning of June? Where are they? What's the platform? Help them understand, what they might be going through. Help them figure out where things stand for all Sun, Moon, Rising, Scorpio signs. Venus and Scorpio as well. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Scorpio for June 1st. Okay, first thing is the Fool. Take a chance, baby. Anything else flip when I was doing it? Just validate. Take a chance. It is, let your eternal child flow. Let your eternal child out. Let it speak to you. Take a chance. Be willing to let your Uranus energy, which is your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, because it's in Taurus, help you. Which is also for you. Wrong sign, Shell. That's your relationship zone. So in those relationship zones, before you start getting into the responsibilities of them and what the rules are, take the chance. Be willing to step up. Be willing to, let the inner child be free and take a shot. Basically, have the new. It's a primal nature of energy to allow things a new beginning, basically. And then you're coming into the beginning, like I said, it's a new moon right there on the 3rd. So this is going to have a lot to do with your communication of your inner child with yourself, taking the chance and being willing to go with it. Then you're being given the 4 of Pentacles, which is speaking to us of our 4. It speaks to us of our emotional, our spiritual, our mental, our physical. And when one of those are not in balance, then we're out of balance. So are you nourishing your inner child, your inner fool? Are you, an inner fool in this case is a good thing. Are you nourishing your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem? Are you nourishing it to the relationships that you're part of? Because your 4 is the most important part of how you create and how you stay healthy. But this is also talking about grounding your 4 elements and being reborn. Again, allowing the Fool to give you a chance to lead you as you move forward. It is Capricorn energy, it is grounding, and it is the power to manifest. So you are definitely coming into, like I said, a rebirthing. And Scorpios, you guys are like the master of rebirthing. You also have the 4 of Cups. You are the master of rebirthing. I mean, that's part of what Scorpio is. I mean, life, death, rebirth, and brand new fertility of understanding the magical energies of all that is. That's what you are. So you can pick this up and flip the script very easily. You should be able to, unless you're in your waters, because, like I said, in that 5th house of where you're creating from, you're allowing that Neptune in retrograde to take you down some dark paths. And this, if it is, it's only taking you down the dark path so that you can understand what didn't work, why it didn't work, and what to change, not to redo it. You're also given the 4 of Cups and this energy, which is a watery star. It is fertile vision. It is insight and new direction. It is overwhelming watery forces of fertility. It's also the Crab energy. Hello. What were we just talking about? Your Cancer sign is where where your soulfulness is right now. It's your 9th house. That's the Crab. The 2 cups. Falling back in love with yourself. Even though you've got 4 of cups, it's the 2 that are full, the other 2 that they don't know. So you're looking at a past of what you knew, and you're looking at a new of what you now know. And you're overflowing with it. This is actually giving yourself a blessing, understanding the blessing is incoming. But it is reflection of the balance that gives you the blessing as it's incoming. That's pretty much right where you're standing as you're entering. Alright, you guys are confusing me. I'm going to see what's calling me in the cards. That is the beginning of, what you should be feeling right here around the 1st through the 15th. Tell me what the challenge is. What's the challenge? What's the challenge for Scorpio as they go from the 1st through the 15th of June? What's the challenge here? Whoop. Okay, sorry, it's the way it fell. Which direction? The challenge is the Page of Swords. This is being alert and clear in vision. Making sure that you're being honest and true to it. It's also speaking to you. I write heart here because it's telling me which chakra it's dealing with. The Page of Swords is, she's the young one of the court cards. She's very open to, clear view, clear decision, but she's still young and may not necessarily get it right. She may sift off a little bit into some uncontrollable energies. This is the Hanged Man. Hangman is telling you that the change is coming. The rebirth, the fertility, the cycle shift is coming. Hangman always reminds me of Odin hanging on the tree before he was given all of his knowledge. Well, in here, the caterpillar is getting ready to become the butterfly. So the Hangman's never anything bad. It's just saying you're about to enter a brand new spot. And then you're being given the Queen of Pentacles with the heart. Also, the Hangman speaks to you of your root chakra. So healing from the root up, not just those 3 chakras. But then I'm given the Queen of Pentacles. This is your challenge of, it's your Mother Earth energy. It's the Queen of Pentacles. She's helping you to understand everything that you learn. If you were willing to go inward, and you're willing to, allow that all that has to change go, and take that time inward to, sift through that stuff, then you are going to come out and be like the nurturing, new, healthy beginning in a tangible way. But will you give it the proper clear vision? Will you give it the proper alertness? Will you understand where it's taking you? Will you give it the proper chance to get you what it needs to? Or will you cut yourself short? Because I asked it for a challenge there. Okay, you don't count. I didn't even shuffle you yet. You're not allowed to talk yet. Please tell me what Scorpio's biggest challenge is in another way to help them understand as they move forward. What is Scorpio's biggest challenge for June 1st through the 15th? So they understand what's coming at them and they can prepare for it in a healthy way. Sagittarius. For me, I call Sagittarius the Tomb Raider or Indiana Jones. I want to learn, I want to know, I want to understand. I want to learn, I want to know, I want to understand, and I want to know it right now. Basically. It's very much on the move. It's on the move. It doesn't stay still. It is a fire energy, but it's also the ending energy. It's what we've decided. It's the mutable. So out of the 3, it's like if you were taking a flight, there's the beginning of the flight. When you're going in to prepare to get on the flight, then there's the flying, and then there's the landing. This is the landing. They're asking you to prepare for your landing according to these 3 cards. According to, what you're learning from the Hangman. Where is that fire energy taking you? Where is that depth of that learning and that knowledge taking you? Are you allowing that knowledge that you're getting from the Hangman to go to a positive or negative? Taking you right back to that creativity in your manifestation. And this is going to jump right into your solar plexus energy. Are you allowing it to create a brand new abundance, nurturing yourself, just like Mother Earth nurtures us? Are you nurturing your heart chakra? Are you learning from the vision? Are you taking yourself in the proper way? Plus, Sagittarius in your life, unless we're just talking about a Sagittarius in general, but Sagittarius on your chart also is it's your universal second house, your self-worth. So this is also speaking to you about, for you directly, this could also be speaking to you about kindling that self-worth, that self-value, that self-esteem. I'm sorry, the right side up. Self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. And you've got Ceres in that energy with Jupiter in Sagittarius. So you have an abundance coming in that second house, which could also be bringing you money if you're taking that Jupiter energy in a positive way, because Sagittarius is an end sign. It brings in the finish. Okay, it brings in the finish. So with Jupiter here, Ceres here, this is speaking to you of too close to home. Karmic energies. Are you sifting through that hangman in a healthy way? Are you giving yourself healthy self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, healthy independence, individuality, uniqueness, and freedom, so that you can bring in the creation of Jupiter's abundance to you, which can then bring you awesome money? This is part of your challenge for this week. Cancer is also where your relationships and the responsibilities of those relationships are. What are the rules to the relationships? We were just talking about that. This is, your universal 8th house, but this is also nesting. This is also ruled by the moon. So this is speaking to you of speaking to your intuitive nature and trusting in it as you make it through this time. Now, Neptune. What was it saying right off the bat? This is you've got to watch your inner Neptune right now, because with it in shadow, you could easily redirect yourself in a negative way because you're picking up the shadow energy. This is about learning from the shadow energy, not becoming it. Okay. Is there anything else? Are you trying to talk? No, you are not. Were you? I can't tell. If you were trying to talk, please speak on up. For Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Scorpio, June through 1st through the 15th. Leave them with very high vibrational energies to help them make it through. Preservation. Reevaluate this battle you are engaged in. A hasty retreat may be in order. Self-preservation may be the only thing that's salvageable. So it may very well be dealing with the relationships that you're in and some of the people that you might need to be letting go of in order to help you. Steadiness. Steadiness is things seem to be moving slowly, but use this time to your advantage to gather your resources to rebuild your energy. You are going to need them. All right. Is there anything that the daily healing has for Scorpio? I couldn't tell. Hold on. It's the way that when I first picked it up and started to shuffle. It's this blue one, isn't it? Yep. It is develop flexibility and aim to be in harmony in all your environments. Develop flexibility and aim to be in harmony in all of your environments. Is there anything else that we have for Scorpio? Anything else? In the moment, if you can, remove your judgment and your criticism and truly listen to someone, as it will help empower them. That's what I have for you. It does look like positive energy, but it does look like it's some slow-moving energy because, like I said, you've got the hangman and there's some inward listening and inward learning going on there. So give yourself the break, give yourself the time, and give yourself what you need. But make sure that your communication is healthy and that you're giving out the communication in the truth of what it really is. I love you guys. And I will see you during the weekly healing messages or for the second half of June. Bye.